in my neighborhood. In my neighborhood, feel good. Everybody in my neighborhood, where my DJ keeps it real. If you drop it right, gonna make us move now. So come on, tell me how you feel.
It was something to do with my cassette deck, which had a bias switch on it, which used to confuse me because it didn't do anything really, and I thought I didn't do much either. I just sit in a chair, twiddle my knobs. So yeah, I used that as my name. Maddslinky. I like the word slinky. I used to have a slinky toy when I was a kid, a spring that fell down the stairs, and if you put the word mad in front of anything, it sounds quite good. So this is why I called myself Maddslinky. And there's like 10 other names, but we don't need to go into those, right?
I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in the dance, I feel listen to the man in my neighborhood. I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in the dance, I feel listen to the man.
My journey into music started around 94. Basically, I was doing security work at a very famous venue in Milton Keynes called The Sanctuary. This is where Jungle Fever, Dreamscape, Helter Skelter, a lot of different raves were born, basically. I used to be part of the security team there that used to search people on the door. And yeah, I used to walk through the club and hear all the best tracks played first, you know, off of dub plate from DJs like Shy FX and DJ Hype, all of them basically. Every good drum and bass jungle DJ, Brocky, Randall, Kenny Ken. So I was, you know, it caught my imagination and I discovered the power of a bass line. And I remember thinking, whilst watching Shy FX one time dropping Bambata and seeing 3,000 people going absolutely crazy, I remember thinking, yeah, that's really what I want to do. And this was in 95. So after that, I borrowed an Amiga computer, a Commodore Amiga, from a friend, and I borrowed some software and some samples from another friend called Steve Gurley. And he basically showed me how to sequence beats, chop beats up on an Amiga, and that was it really. I got the bug from there. I ended up working for a little while in Germany with my father, working on building sites, building houses and schools and stuff like that, and saved my money and bought an S2000 Akai sampler in Germany, carried it home, sat indoors and didn't speak to anybody for a good few months, and sort of really developed a relationship with my sampler, and from there really the record started to come.
I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in the dance, I feel listen to the man in my neighborhood. I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in the dance, I feel listen to the man in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood.
At the time, I think it was 99, a friend called Glenn Woods came to me. He was a resident at a local club in Milton Keynes called Casino. Casino used to bring a big guest every week, and it would be someone like Mike Roughcut Lloyd or Norris the Boss Windross or the Dream Team. And Glenn said that he wanted to make a dub plate. He wanted me to make a dub plate for him, something exclusive that he could play before the guest played every week, and basically just tear an arse out of the sound system. So I made Neighbourhood in about 3 or 4 hours. At the time it didn't have a vocal, but then DJ Principal brought his friend MC Rumpus to the studio. At the time Rumpus lived in London, and yeah, we got a few vocals down, and he did a special vocal for Glenn Woods. And then after, you know, a month or two of hearing this played in the club, I decided to, you know, do a proper version, and the proper version ended up being played by everybody. Literally, you could hear it on every station, all the pirate stations driving through London. You could flick through the dial, and you know, you could possibly hear it a few times at the same, you know, playing at the same time. It was a really big track back then. So Locked On signed that, and then XL signed it from them and put it in the charts, and here I am today. These days I'm making quite a wide variety of music with a wide variety of people. I'm making albums under the name Zed Bias and Maddslinky, and they're being released on True Thoughts. I've also got side projects coming out this year, the first of which is called Sleeping Giants. That's with two legends in the game, Rodney P and Fallacy. And it's sort of a hip-hop stroke club album that's out in May. And then later in the year I've got an album coming out with Trigger from Shadow Demon Coalition, someone I met just before Christmas, and we got on really well in the studio and ended up making an album in just under 3 weeks. And yeah, that's featuring a couple of other people on the album, Killer Benz, my old mate Specialist Moss, from the garage scene back in the day, and also a young singer called Yasmin. Also, I've been doing, you know, little production jobs for other people and remixes, so there's a lot coming out. I'm constantly busy now, probably busier than I was back in the day, so I'm very happy about that.
Everybody in my neighborhood, where my DJ keeps it real. If you drop it right, gonna make us move on now. So come on, tell me how you feel.
Well, my setup now is relatively quite small compared to what it has been in the past. But again, this is the advent of a lot of different technology coming through, and you know, computers are super powerful now. I do all my production on a laptop, on a MacBook Pro, and I've got an extra processor, a UAD2 satellite card, with lots of analog plugins, a lot of tape simulation, and you know, old Boss and Roland plugins, and Teletronics and Pultec and things like that. So it's good. You can get an analog sound these days with just using a computer and an external processor. The one thing that you can't skimp on, well, that I can't skimp on, is you know, what I record into my setup, and how I record it. I've got Focusrite preamp, I've got an 1176 limiting amplifier, I've got an SE Electronics Gemini valve microphone, and yeah, that's basically something, you know, that's my recording setup. I've also got quite a lot of analog gear as far as synths, and couple drum machines, and yeah, a lot of percussion that sometimes gets brought out and hit a little bit. I've been using Cubase since version 1 on the Atari. Cubase 6 is amazing, and yeah, it's changed the way I work. It makes everything a lot quicker, instantly very clean, so I struggle sometimes to make it a little bit, you know, dirty enough.
I feel good. I feel good, yes, wonderful good. Anytime I come in at the dance, I feel listen to the man in my neighborhood. I feel good. I feel good, yes, wonderful good. Anytime I come in at the dance, I feel listen to the man.
Oh, there's a lot of labels on fire right now. I guess my favourite label, even though I am on the roster, is Swamp 81. Swamp 81's just got great motivation. The whole vision that Loafer has for this label. Some of the artists on the label, they're making some killer stuff. Bodycar, he's making some absolutely killer cuts right now. MC Chunky, or just Chunky as we know him. Other labels, I mean, there are a few. I like 502 Records, one man's label. Teeth, he's a very good producer on that. I like Digital Soundboy. I think they're just making some good old ravey vibes at the moment. And you know, Shy Effects, he's a ledge. He's got a good ear. On the dubstep side of things, I like there's a few labels. I like Pinch's label, Tectonic. I also like Temper. I used to work with Temper back in the day. Good to see the dizzy heights they've gone to. Producers, I'm loving Chimpo right now. Chimpo's big in the game. Another mate of mine from Manchester. Dub Physics is another Manchester guy who's made one of my favourite tracks this year, called Marker, and I've had to play that. Even last night I rewound it 3 times. You know, it's a killer track.
I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in at the dance, I listen to the man in my neighborhood. I feel good, good, good. I feel good, yes, wonderful, good. Anytime I come in at the dance, I listen to the man in my neighborhood.
Well, my expectations were limited because I really didn't know what to expect. You know, it's the first time I've been here and it's a long way from home. I really didn't have anything to expect. Maybe I thought it would be a little bit like Russia, but that was a very silly thought because it's nothing like it at all. It's a very unique country. I've had a great time here so far, but the party was a reflection of the people's love for music and their attitude as a whole. I was, you know, just showed a lot of warmth last night, and I played for 3 hours, and it was great. I mean, hopefully the videos are going to go up on YouTube. The venue was fantastic. It was actually underneath the street, the main street, in the middle of Tbilisi. There's a park, Vake Park. It was underneath this, and yeah, it was just a crazy night. All my expectations were blown out of the water.
I feel good, good, good.
Hi, this is Zed Bias, and you're watching Dance.ge.
Listen to the man